Today's panel is going to be on forecasting trends with growth and data. So yeah, not debatable how we say it here. So we have some great knowledgeable people out here, all walks of the industry, and I'm just going to have them introduce themselves. I'm Gunz. I'm going to be hosting it today. I'm with Green Rush Nation. But without further ado.
How's it going, y'all? Edgar Torres with Dutchie. For all of y'all that don't know yet, Dutchie definitely takes care of all your retailer needs, brand needs as well. More than anything, we want to unify the experience on both ends so that customers can have the best experience, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that keep all of our lights on. So let's do what we got to do to keep morphing with the industry and becoming one with what the product and the customer needs.
Absolutely. And can you just tell your expertise in the area?
Definitely. Thank you. I used to do production. I did retail with Culture and with there you go, and with Catalyst. After that, I've been doing tech now for a while, so I can talk to all walks of life, whether you're, trying to do a white label, trying to look at profits from all the way in to out, what your P&L looks like, what your growth, goals are for the next couple of 3, 6, 9. One of our great partners here, Kevin, we're having the honor of working with him hand in hand in actually making those goals, come a reality.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Hey everyone, I'm Nicole with Raw Garden. I'm the VP of Sales. Been working with Raw Garden since 2019, selling the brand. Done a little bit of everything. Worked my way from just being a sales rep up to a key account manager, regional sales manager, director of sales, now here. Our brand, if you haven't heard of us, we are located in Central Coast, California. Clean Green certified, eco certified. We pride ourselves on clean cannabis, affordable for all, but making sure that experience is quality every time and very consistent.
And what is your data superpower?
Our data superpower is also having a kick-ass IT team. We use API integration for a lot of our data reporting. So we build out extensive reports that link to all of our different departments so we can track our forecasts, whether it's from sales, manufacturing, or cultivation. So really integration is key for us.
Beautiful. And you?
Hello, how you doing? Kevin Hana, Buzz Cannabis, San Diego. Yeah, I'm the founder and I'm the buyer for Buzz Cannabis. Also, own a couple of brands across the country, Manton Extracts in the state of Michigan. But we're a San Diego retailer, been in the business a long time, going on 12, 13 years before, 64. So it's been a good ride, got a great team, and my data superpower, I got to tell you, is the guy in the front right here, Steve Esho, my operations director. We got a really great tech deck that we utilize when it comes to data. Headset helps a lot too. We utilize, so just a lot of reporting, because that's what guides us, right? Is that data. If you're not guided by data, it's like, you don't have no sale.
You got to make strategic decisions. And
yeah,
if you're not making decisions based off data, then they're not very strategic.
For sure.
So we'll start over here. What is a key point that tells you that a brand is selling more units but making less money?
Well, we all know the elephant in the room. Let's talk about it. The discount war, the discount race to the bottom. It's three of us, us with the data, the retailers and the brands. We got to all come together and really educate our customer base. Because at the end of the day, they're shopping elsewhere for things other than discounts. They're shopping for loyalty. They're shopping for an early exclusivity to a certain drop with a certain brand. They're shopping for things that can be quantified on our end other than discounts. So again, we can come out of that discount race to that bottom, but we got to do it together. We got to come together and offer more things. And it's great because every year we get a new batch of customers. Every year we get a new batch of 21-year-olds. And they're all shopping different. You're seeing the app use, you're seeing the pay by bank, the Paylist stuff, you're seeing everything, and we incorporate that stuff for you guys. So the data shows it. If we're looking for sales, we can definitely help shift that P&L the other way by deviating from discounts solely.
Absolutely. And I know with Dutchie, you guys have a great loyalty program. Do you just want to talk a little bit about that, how that combats that exact issue you were just speaking about?
Great question. Thank you. Yeah, so pretty much data, again, you're looking at your different customer subsets, because out of 100 people that come and visit us, you'll see the different customer types, their different spending patterns. Some are motivated by discounts, some are motivated by loyalty. We can help steer that. Like if you're telling me, Edgar, I've got a low day on Tuesdays, 12 to 2, well, guess what? We just did double point loyalty on those days. We're going to pass it out through our automated email, text campaign, app notification, and that's going to hit the right faces at the right time. And the data is going to help us tweak that if we need to be more aggressive, have different wording. We've got AI engines on there to help you with the wording because, again, we're trying to deviate from y'all spending all this money on all these different things when we can incorporate it with a little AI. Because let's face it, the future's here. Let's get with it.
The future is here, and that actually brings up a good point. I want to ask all of you, how do you think that AI is going to shape the future of our data collection and just the industry in general?
Well, I think when it comes to forecasting, there is a lot of machine learning that can help, right? Looking at trends, seasonality year over year, being able to utilize AI to help get you the proper forecast you need. Obviously, there's always tweaks that, us humans are going to know, right? We're going to know, what the spikes are or what the different discounting promotions we might be running. So to see those spikes, but I think it definitely has a big upside for the industry.
For sure. And what is your opinion on AI?
Well, I think if Steve's laughing over here in the front, our whole ERP we're built. I think it's almost done. It's AI built. It's all everything that we do today almost when it comes to reporting and extracting information out of our data centers is all AI, right? So if you're not working with a platform that can utilize AI, again, the win in the sales. So you need that for
Very
sure.
true. Very true. And Nicole, I have this question for you. Obviously, prices have dropped quite a bit over the last few years. How do you keep the integrity of having a quality product and standing in the market, but also having to compete with that?
Yeah, it's all about knowing the use case for your product, right? If you're building your brand off just potency price point, anyone can do that, right? So you really got to find what is that customer need that you got to fulfill. And for us, it's staying clean. It's having a quality, consistent product at the affordable price point. But it's really looking at price elasticity per product type, per demographic, and seeing where is that price band going to fit for us. We don't need to necessarily be the cheapest and drive down the price points, but there's also ways to incentivize consumers, right? By loyalty programs, by discounting here and there, but it doesn't have to be an everyday discount all the time, so you're devaluing yourself and your brand. Comes down to margins, right? Everyone wants margins, the retailers, the brands, so it's coming together to find that sweet spot for everybody.
Beautiful, beautiful. And now, how does something like Dutchie help a brand and a retailer just in general collect data and contact their customer base?
So when they come in and shop, we're harvesting or collecting, if you would. That term's not that great. We're collecting data, and based on that data, we now got ways to contact the customer, and that's a big subset right now on our current offering. Not all customers respond to the same set of communications. So you've got some that will do the email, some that do the push notification, some that do the text message, and they all carry a different cost. So we want to employ the best method for y'all while keeping in mind the wallet. So with the data and everything else in there layered, we can definitely help, bridge that gap.
Absolutely. And just from your perspective as a brand side, do you want to just say how something like that does benefit you?
Yeah, loyalty programs are great, right? That's something that can incentivize consumers to come back, especially if it's around just your product. But also, Dutchie offers, ad-based programming through their platforms to reach a wider audience. Maybe somebody who is checking out the Dutchie menu for a retailer but hasn't necessarily looked for your product. Great way to do so is by, running ads with them and making sure you're visible and at top of mind and, top of visibility, really. If you're not in front of consumers right away, they might not know about you. And just
Absolutely.
having as many eyes as possible is really what you want.
That's for sure. And from the retail perspective, how does something like Dutchie benefit you?
Well, Dutchie, I can tell you I've done a lot of betas with Dutchie across the country, right? So I've been a big fan of Dutchie for 5-6 years now, I think, from Michigan all the way to here. I can tell you Dutchie, with the easiness of the customer coming in and out, downtime, very important to the conversation, integrating all our decks that we have in there. and they listen. You know, that's one of the things that we love about Dutchie, right? When my people come to me and they say, hey, they're listening, and when they come back to us with what we ask them for and they correct it, it's something that we really look for. And I think if you look at all the POS systems that there is out there, Dutchie's probably been the one that's been advancing in the last 18 months. You know, they're putting the money in, right? And that's very important to the conversation.
For sure. And now being from the retail side, pushing like to your customer just on if it's like more or less. Sorry, the question kind of flew out of my head. But when do you know, like quantity-wise, when you're getting your inventory, when is it time to double up or cut back on something?
That's an easy one. I can tell you, Guns, if you run out of product, it's the most unprofessional thing to do in cannabis. It's not cool to run out of inventory, guys. It's not cool, man. If you go to a store, and we'll just use, I use Ember Valley. My boy Rob's over there. You come in to buy Ember Valley in my store, and I don't have it. I don't have a certain strain that you used to having. I think cadence is very important to the conversation, and having it's like night and day, man. You lose customers. You got to be full. You gotta have merch. You got to merchandise your store correctly. And when it comes to pricing, I think experience and customer service is very important to the conversation. I'll give you an example. Somebody's not going to leave my store for 5 to 10%. They're just not going to do it, man, because we built these beautiful stores. You know, we invested this money for this experience. And I think that is what makes people come to you. The ease of in and out, the smile, right? The listening. And, you know, we have the best loyalty program in the state. We built our company with a loyalty program. So it's hard to bring a loyalty program on after the fact, because now you're going to lose 10% of profits. And I can tell you, talking to some guys that I know in the state, that's millions of dollars to them. That's part of our business model.
Okay. So very nice, very informative. And now from your perspective, how do you help these brands? Like, there's obviously multiple platforms that help brands. What is your strength? What makes you stand out?
If we're talking data and loyalty, we really gamify the experience. So what does that look like? You can now have a tiered loyalty system that not only is shown to the bud tender on their view, so they know how to, give them a courting experience, again, what we pride ourselves on, but they're also going to be able to see that when they're shopping online, at their webpage, when they're shopping on that custom app, because everything's going to showcase Gunz, 1,000 points. You can apply your own points at discount, whether you're doing Chuck E. Cheese model, or whether you're doing straight point for point. Whatever works for your customers base specifically in the region your stores are at, we can definitely meld to give that great experience.
Beautiful. And from a brand perspective, how do you cater as far as I apologize. From the brand perspective, just getting out, like, I know you said leadership, to have like these data sets just so that people know what they're looking for. How important is the guidance for your employees to know what they are looking for so that they're not just shooting in the dark?
Oh, it's extremely important. We use internal data, right, and give that reporting out to our teams, whether it's, the delivered report with goals, or whether it's, hey, this store hasn't purchased this in X amount of time. That is something to go check in on. Is the sell-through happening? Is the velocity there? Are they out of stock and we're just not seeing that? But in the same sense, we use headset as well and hoodie, and those are all things we can gauge of what is on shelf, what is the velocity looking like, utilizing Bridge as well to help with any vendor managed inventory. Like, if a retailer wants us to help and wants us to add that service of guiding them and making sure they're always in stock, because that is the number one thing, right? We never want anyone to run out of stock. That is something that our reps, look to add that service. And by doing so, we need to have those data sets. We need to have it readily available for them to go on at any time and be able to go back to their retailer and say, hey, Mr. Retailer, this is what I can do for you. Is this a service you'd like? And just making that easier for the retailers at the end of the day. They're dealing with so much. So if that's one thing we can help take off their plate, we're all about it.
Hey, they say that if you could solve the bigger problem, you get the bigger paycheck, right?
Heck
Beautiful.
yeah.
So, as a social media perspective, I know it's hard to market in this industry, but collecting data from social media, how does that help, or does it help at all?
Yeah, it's very interesting. You know, social media can be finicky here and there, but there is ways to, you know, track where is that consumer hotspots hitting, right? What are the posts or stories or reels that are most captivating for your consumers? And also finding, hey, is it a certain product type? Is it how we explain our branding? Is it, you know, stories about our farm, right? Who we are. All those can, you know, help us pinpoint, you know, where regionally are we being successful with our social media versus where we might want to target more, you know, and whether it's here in California or it can be out of state, you know, there's a lot of hot spots, you know, around the country on cannabis.
Absolutely. And I just want to speak from the retail, and obviously you guys can see trends on products. And do you see anything picking up as far as like drinks, edibles, pre-rolls? What's a hot product right now?
Well, I can tell you drinks are picking up tremendously. A lot of reasons for that. You know, price is a big thing. Consumption, right? If you look at the new customer coming in, they're not smokers, right? So they don't like smoke in their lungs. So they look for other ways to consume. And I think most people in America, they're used to drinking liquor to get a buzz. So the drinks are really, and if you come in our stores, we have, you know, 2 4x8 coolers, right? So we always knew that, right? It's always been, I think it was like 3% last I looked, and 3% of a $3 billion industry, that's, you know, that's $90 million a
Pretty
year,
significant.
right? So I think drinks, one, I think dual vapes, right, with the different flavors. And I think if you really look at the customer and how they're buying, right, like the customer trends and how they buy, I think bulk is a big thing now, right? Half ounces, ounces, you know, so, and half ounces overtook eighth when it comes to data in the state, right? So you see that. We see that in our store. That's why we're a bulk house. So,
Okay.
you know, it gets the ticket average up. And I think the customer gets a better value, too, with the buying that bulk.
For sure. That being said, now the stigma being gone, more people moving to like vapes and edibles and drinks. Do you see a higher age in your customer base coming into these stores?
I think the customer coming in the store is younger. And the younger customer, and I say this respectfully, they've never really smoked weed without an infusion. So I call them the Jeter babies, right? Because they never had that experience, right? So they want an infused, and they started, and I say this respectfully, with tobacco vape, right? Tobacco vape had all these candy tastes and everything. So that's what happened with these kids that are coming in now. They want an infused candy pre-roll that tastes nothing like cannabis. And the same thing with the vape, right? I think if you look at what we're trying to teach our people is the rosin, the resin, the terps. This is what we're trying to change in our stores, right? It's not all about THC. It's really, THC has no effect on you, by the way. It's the terps. Terps cause the effect. So if you have these terpene flavors and flower in your store, they're going to give the customer a better experience than a candy-infused botanical terp.
For sure. But I will say, if you're new to it, don't just jump into a dab because
No,
we've all been
definitely
there
not
before and
that,
we've made that mistake. Speaking of trends, though, where do you see the industry heading 5-10 years down the line? Maybe we'll start with you.
Like Kevin said, great data, and it all showcases our older crowds are buying ounces. I'm 34. My crowd's buying rosin, hash holes. We're spending a little more of our check than we probably should on our stuff. And every new generation coming in is switching. They don't want smoke. They want edibles. They want drinks. They want tabs. They want this. They want that.
And one other thing, and I forgot to, sleep. Sleep is like one of the biggest things when it comes to gummies. You know, like if you look at all the health journals, and I'm 54 years old, so I do look at these journals. And one of the things that the journals are telling you today is not only sleep, but getting a deeper sleep, right? So your body can recover. So that's one of the things that's really blew up with us is the CBN, sleep, gummies. It's something that's really big, B.
Absolutely. I mean, personally, I've started taking more edibles just in recent years because there was a stigma to it. I was a little nervous, especially for something like this. Like, I'm not about to take an edible and get on stage and speak on a panel. But that's not a stigma, you know, that's just being smart-minded. But at night, to fall asleep, I'll take a nice gummy, and I don't care what the trends are. That trend works for me.
100%. And retailers, we're also consumers like y'all. So look at your store. What region are you at? Are you like our boy Mikey at LAXCC? Are you like our boy Orlando over there at the Chronic? Where are you at? Because wherever your location is, you're serving a different customer base. So look at your data. Are you catering to 65-year-olds, 21-year-olds? Are you close to a university? Tailor to your data, tailor to your customer. That's what's gonna make you successful. Not having stuff on your shelf that isn't getting picked up, because it might be the boom at the state level, but what does your particular data set tell? What is that story?
And another thing, like, you know, there's a lot of social media stuff. Like, I think I was talking to Adam earlier, and he said something. He's like, what's happening in the stores is not what's happening on social media, guys. Like, we deal with real shit. Social media is like la la land to me. So when I say, like, we're paying the bills, we pay our employees, like, we see the data. I go on the sales floor, I butt tend. And if you're a buyer or an owner and you're not on the sales floor, you are my favorite competition.
Speaking of that, I know you said you're in multiple states. What are some of the trends maybe in other states that you don't see here in California?
Well, I can tell you in Michigan, we're a top brand over there, Mitten Extracts. You know, we do a lot of stuff with Dutchie. And we deal with like 4 or 5 states, right? Because we're a border state. So distillate carts are still crazy there. You know, bulk is still crazy there. It's still like deli style, right? Back when we were young. But the trends there, it's still like, they haven't caught up, right? Like, California is like advanced in the sense that everything starts here. People can say, oh, it doesn't. It does, man. Like, everybody looks for the strains that are popping out here, and they try to take them out there. And look, Blue Dream is still a top 5 seller in California.
Just last year, it was the top seller in the whole industry. So don't hate on the Blue Dream.
It's done correctly. It's good.
Absolutely. Now, I know I was talking to you earlier. Back a couple years ago, when you thought about raw garden or even just vapes in general, the half grams were super popular. What was the change, and what is it now? Like, what do you see more?
Yeah, so half grams back in, call it 2021, made up about 20% of the vape market here in California. As of this year to date, it only makes up 4% of the market. So it's had a huge drop off. I feel like all brands have kind of started to see the decline. And really it's because consumers have seen the value in the 1 gram, right? Typically your half gram isn't as greatly priced as the 1 gram. Everyone's been smoking 1 grams. They already know what they want coming in the door for it. But, you know, what we will continue to see is more niche items, like call it a rosin cart. It might be better in a half gram form factor than it will be a 1 gram. Especially for the terps. So there is different uses for it, but I think the overall market, if they already know what products they like, if they're already smoking vapes, they're going to continue to want that 1 gram just for the value, right? Everyone wants every best bang for their buck.
For sure.
I agree with Nicole on that.
Oh, yeah. Everyone wants their best bang for their buck. And speaking of bang for your buck, I was actually in Michigan recently, and their edibles don't have limits.
Yeah, so in Michigan, you can... There's a 200 milligram limit, so you see a lot of 20 milligram pieces. If I took it, and I smoke maybe a half ounce, an ounce a day. If I took a 20 milligram edible, no good.
No bueno.
No bueno. Yeah, not good right there.
All right, so I just want to go into it from the Dutchie side, the raw garden side, and the buzz side. What are data habits that you practice regularly, weekly, monthly, to make sure that you are up to date with the trends?
Segmenting your data. If you're looking too broad, it's going to be too many variables for you to actually isolate what's helping you move either way, so you can correct accordingly, whether that be, you know, demographic, whether that be brand-wise, whether that be discount-wise. You always want to look at something at 3 miles, 30 miles, 300 miles if you would, because that way you can really isolate the impact and see what's driving that forward and either capitalize on it or correct it.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
Yeah, from our side, same sort of situation, definitely segmenting it, but also looking at the big picture, like where is the market going? Is everyone having an up week? Is everyone having a down week? And also strain specific, right? As we mentioned earlier, Blue Dream, I think it's a top strain for everyone. I know it is for us, but it's also seeing, hey, is there new strains coming onto the market? You know, that's something that, I want our sales team to communicate back. That way we can look forward for forecasting for our planting plan, right? It all comes back to what we cultivate, what we're going to breed. That's going to go in the ground this year, but then we don't see it till next year, right? So it's forward thinking in that sense, but it's making sure, we're following what customers want. If we don't have the right strains for our customers, the product's not going to sell. It ultimately leads back to them.
Absolutely. And now, as a retailer, what data habit can you maybe use weekly, monthly, daily that would help someone?
Well, I can tell you, there's certain days that I look at certain data. At night, every night, I look at the store data, right? Sell-through, margin, how many pieces we sold, how many people came in the door. And then, I have these deep dive meetings with my guys, right? Or my girls too, right? So to Edgar's point, it's segmented, but, you have to understand your stores. You can't say, to Edgar's point, I can't think about a guy in LA and I'm in San Diego, right? Every demographic, every city has a different base. We don't have a lot of illegal stores where I'm at, but we got a lot of illegal deliveries, right? So that affects us in a sense. So now what we're trying to do, and look, I'll tell you guys, our model coming into this business has never been to compete against the metric market retailer. I came in the market to compete against the black market. That's real. If you guys don't believe us, if you don't compete against the black market, if you think you're going to come in here and make a 70, 80% margin, you're a fucking fool. And I say that sincerely. So understand your market, understand what's happening in this world that we live in, and proceed that way. You got to pivot too.
Absolutely. Speaking of the black market, how do taxes affect when stuff like that comes into play?
Well, I can tell you 38% tax, state tax. That's stupid, for sure.
I would say.
You got bureaucrats and politicians. Anytime a politician touches something, it's going to shit. That's just a fact.
They say you leave it to the smart people, and look what happens.
Yeah, well, the smart people are elected, right? Where we don't eat if we don't perform, right? And that's what you got to look at, man. It's 38% tax. We have a way that our marketing and our sales, what we're trying to do is really try to battle that. That's our biggest battle. My battle is not the guys that own stores in my market. It's battling the customer's perception of paying 38%, right? It's just shock, man. It's a shock factor.
It's crazy. And I mean, as a consumer in the past, that has driven me to the black market. If I can go get something that wasn't going to kill my pocket, and I have it for the weekend, then.
Well, B, to your point, one of the things we tell the black market customers, hey, man, our stuff is tested, parts per billion. If you respect your lungs and you don't want to die of something that's really crazy, don't smoke that stuff, man. Because if a guy's in the black market and he gets mites, he's going to bomb that room and he's going to still sell that weed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Ember Valley won't. They won't do it, because there's organic ways of dealing with it that these guys don't use, right?
Of course. But so I feel like those customers don't even take that into consideration. They look for the price point, and that's it.
Well, I think price point, that's very sad if they do that. What we try to do is obviously build these beautiful places, the experience. There's so many things that it takes to make a store great, right? It's just not the price, man. It's just not the aesthetics. Customer service matters. Taking care of your people matters. If you walk in our stores, if they're not smiling, I, as an owner, failed.
Absolutely.
They got to smile, man. They got to make you feel good. They got to connect with you.
It's 2025. If you're not giving them an experience, they're not going to remember that,
If I'm going through some things in my life and I want to pick up some weed to ease that thing, and I walk in a place and they don't help me do that, they failed.
For sure.
We have a model in our store. If you don't walk out smiling, we failed.
That's it. That's it. And that's a good model to go by. I respect it.
And the data shows back up to that, happy customers are returning customers, right? So if they're shopping with you at your shop, guess who they're not shopping with? The guy down the road. That, with automated win-back campaigns, we make sure the customer stays shopping with our partners. At the end of the day, as long as we can provide great experiences, we can keep funneling those customers into the legal market and just hope the government does their thing, because right now I think LA's 300 shops to 4,000?
That's crazy.
The tax isn't really the problem, it's what they're doing with it. You know, we really need them to help abate
Enforce.
that.
They have to enforce. You know, if you don't enforce, then it makes people like my brothers that own stores in LA feel like they have no way out, man. It's just not fair. You invest millions of dollars and you have these governmental agencies coming really
OJ.
you okay?
It's all right.
Really, you know, affecting us where they should be going out there and getting the black market guys and using those resources to shut those guys down. And look, they got to lower the taxes. That's just a fact, man. Either you lower the taxes or we're going to have a lot of problems in this industry.
That's for damn sure. Well, thankfully, I did actually just see that they took the price hike, just put it back down to 15%. So hopefully that does stay, and that can save the industry, bring it back to the legal dispensaries. But at this point, I would like to open up questions in the audience. If anyone has a question, just raise your hand, and I'll come over, give you the mic, and you can say who you have a question for. Any questions? Anybody? All right, we got one over here.
Hey, how's it going? Fresh with CEO of Tap In Car Services. Shout out to my guy. You know, he already know how I do. I do have a question. I noticed when I've been going around representing the company I am representing today, I noticed when it comes to promotion, it's a lot of companies that don't have it. And my question is, should companies start having more promotion? I understand that your main Instagrams get, I'm sorry, what's that word?
Take it down.
Thank you. Thank you for that. But now I just want to know, should they make like other pages that's strictly just for that and then have brand ambassadors start promoting your companies as well? And the reason why I'm asking that question is because I promote other companies and I noticed that they do get more gravitated and I'm starting to get more notice from that. And I just wanted to know, should brands and dispensaries do that as well instead of just the black market?
Well, I can tell you, if we did a promotion on Instagram, we get taken down. We're, I think, on number 19, Steve, when it comes to our pages. You know, you got a guy that doesn't like you or something, or somebody complain. It might even be an algorithm. We don't even know what the hell it is anymore. So using Instagram for promotions doesn't work for us. But I can tell you, we are the promotion. Like, you got to promote, man. You got to, if you don't promote yourself on billboards and SEOs and all the other things that we utilize to get our name out, you won't succeed. So to your point, you have to promote. You have to you have to interact with your community.
Right.
And if you don't interact, like I'll tell you, there's two things that are very integral to our success. We have a responsibility to the people that work with us. That's called corporate responsibility.
Yes.
Then you have a responsibility to your community. That's called civic responsibility. So you have these two things that we take very serious. And I can tell you, like, if you don't care about your people, they'll know. And when they find out, you are annihilated.
Okay.
So you got to be sincere in that sense.
All right, I understand. Yeah, I'm just a content creator, and I just love doing it. So I just wanted to ask that just for promotion for dispensaries.
I hope that answers your question.
All right, appreciate you, brother.
I would also say, just from the brand side, having a web page on your website of promotions is a great way to get around, hey, you're going to get flagged on Instagram. Like, have a place where you can constantly put promotions, and Twitter as well. As long as you can do that and have more free control over it, right? If you're switching month to month, if you're promoting daily deals, it's also a good avenue where you can say, hey, linked here, go check out this page, versus, hey, here is the buy two, get one, buy three, get one deals, and get flagged immediately.
Absolutely.
Yeah, due to regulations, direct to consumer is the most effective right now. And together, the promoting party, the brand, the retailer can do automations when it comes to these directnesses. You can either do push notifications or emails, and they can be tailored with the links, with the content, and it's going to have 100% near delivery rates.
God bless.
I think one of the things that should power your company too is your data, right? If you're not saving your data and utilizing your data, then what are you collecting the data for? You know?
Just data collection.
Yeah, you got to collect it.
Any other questions? You got one right here in front.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Aldo. So as a bud tender, how can I help improve the data? Like, because I know with Dutchy, if you do pay by bank, I kind of tracked it. Customers are in and out in under 4 minutes compared to before. They're kind of just,
Well, I can answer that question
Yeah.
for you. I think as a bud tender, you have to utilize your company's SOP in collecting that data, right? So with us, when you check in, we can collect it then, and at checkout we can collect it, and we actually, when we collect your data, we incentivize you as a customer too. And now we're building more data for our bartenders, and we're seeing who's capturing that data. So that's very important to the conversation too, is what is your SOP on collecting the data? Because if Aldo just can't make up his mind, it's like, how do I capture that data? You have to teach Aldo how to capture that data, right? So once you utilize an SOP on data, then it's up to the bartender, but there should be some type of like way of gauging it, so.
Absolutely.
Correct. Gauging the data, capturing the data. You can do it at check-in, you can do it at register, you can do it at checkout. So at that point, it's just using your tool effectively. Like, you could have a Ferrari, but if you're not shifting right, right? But great question.
Very true. One more question, did I hear? No, he was on the phone. All right, no worries. Oh, we got one over here. All right. This will be the last question, and then we're going to wrap up.
Thank you. So, as retailers, what do you look for within brands to assist you and grow your operations beyond activations? Because PADs, ISAs, those are a dying breed now. So you mentioned marketing, emails. What else can brands be doing to assist you and to help grow?
Well, I'll just talk on the retailer's side. I think brands, and there's a lot of brands out here that I work with, you have to be proactive with the brand. If you're waiting for a brand to come into your business and help you grow your business, and you don't have a plan for that business, then you're not going to win, man. So you have to have a plan for that business. You have to sit down with the brands. You have to make the brand understand what messaging you're trying to get across and what kind of customer you're trying to capture. And I think if you, as a retailer, are proactive in that sense, you have to ask the brand to work within your systems, right? So what could a brand do? They got to just work with you and understand what you're trying to do, but be proactive with that, right? And let me just say, if there's any retailers out here, be fair with the brands, right? Don't say, it's a give and take with brands, and I think we've utilized that in the last couple of years in California. Listen to them and make them understand, and be respectful to being like cannibalistic on brands, right? Like, I always tell that. Me and Steve talk about that all the time. Is I can't bring certain brands in because they'll cannibalize my good brands and my friends, and sometimes it's shit. This is the way it is, man. So that's just one of the things right there. You're working with the brand, working with the retailer, and understanding where they're at and what they're trying to accomplish. It's probably what's the best thing a brand can do.
Kevin, you made a great point. It's about being flexible from the brand side with your retailers, finding out how they want to run their business and finding how you can really fit in to help improve their business, right? How you can be that value add, whether it's to their menu, whether it's to their bud tenders or the end consumer. Really just working with them. It's not about, hey, just take this promotion. It's like, no, what promotions work best? What are the days? How can I help increase that sell-through and bring foot traffic into, your doors? And if you have an in-house brand, get a brand in to help your own bud tenders be able to upsell, right?
I think to Nicole's point, you have to, like me, we work well with Raw Garden. And one of the things, when Raw Garden came on with us, I was like, this is what we need. And it was like, Warren, he was like, got it, you got it. And from there, I liked them. Because you know why? They listen. If a brand listens, like, I don't like brands coming in and say, hey, this is the way we do it. Well, it's not your business. This is the way we do it. But I think that's what you got to do. Just lock in with your retailer. It's very important, man, having a great relationship with the buyer. I see a couple of good buyers out there that have really built their reputation of being fair. And if you're a fair buyer, brands respect you more. Don't be an asshole. That's not cool. Because shit does turn around in life,
For sure. Always.
Well, and it's about building that trust, right?
For sure, yeah,
Showing
for
that you
sure.
can stay good to your word, good to your promises, and to that relationship, right? Every relationship should be treated differently. You can't put all retailers in the same box,
You
right?
can't put everybody like a buzz, right, Nicole? No. That was a joke. I was joking.
No jokes aside. I mean, it's completely right. What type of relationship are you having with your retailer or retailers, and what else are you bringing to the table? Like, you're both chasing a common goal. What is that goal? Is that a 35-year-old who makes 85K and spends 20 on it on cannabis? Is that a 21-year-old who's only got like 5K in a year to spend? Together, how do you reach that goal and bring more stuff to the table, but make sure it's suited to what your retailer needs?
And I think just to go back, not to be redundant, you got to interact with the community, man. It's very important. Like, that's just something it's a no-brainer. Like, get out there. There's no take. You know, you can't keep milking the cow. You got to feed the cow grass.
Yeah,
You know,
it's true.
it's real, man.
You gonna smoke it though, right?
Yeah, you can smoke it too.
It's very true. Well, hey, I've learned a lot. You guys are very knowledgeable people on this exact topic, and that's why we had you guys come out and talk. But we appreciate your time. We appreciate your energy. And
Thanks
that's
for
it
having us.
today's
Thank you.
panel.
Thanks. I want to
Thank
say
you.
congratulations. The guys that throw this event, they're good guys. Nam, Shay, good dudes. Mikey, all the guys I know, I've known a long time. And it's a really cultural event. I can tell you I didn't go to Hall of Flowers this year. Saved myself for this event. I'm really proud of how these guys have grown. Kudos to you guys.
Absolutely. Shout out to Network 2025. Hell of a show.